Hello, children. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, my students of DPS Joka, South Kolkata, Class 5. Our chapter for today is something very interesting. It is a poem about examination, and your examinations are near. So, this chapter would be something very apt for this time, as your periodic test 2 examinations are knocking at the door. I've uploaded the study module 48B based on this chapter, wherein I have given you all details about the poet, the word meanings, the question answers, everything is discussed there. But I thought of uploading a video as I would like you to understand the inner meaning of this poem better. Well, children, there are times when, even once in our lifetime, we come unprepared for certain examinations. It could be a surprise test. It could be any one of the examinations of your life, a periodic test. Could be, maybe you are a good student, but maybe circumstances were such that you couldn't study and come unprepared. But if you go to see, the poet here has given many such examples of examination. Examinations are not only the ones which you write on pen and paper. You have examinations of life. There are certain moments of your life when you have to really take difficult decisions. Those are also examinations. Examinations come in our life in many forms. As a student, your examination is on pen and paper. Once you grow up and become adults, your examination will be the real life. And mind you, that examination, whatever answers you write, you cannot wipe it out, because decisions once made can never be changed. So your school days are there, your school is there to groom you into such strong individuals that you become worthy to make the right decisions of your life. Coming back to the poetry, the poem is written by, as you know, Gareth Owen, and he is a very, very good writer in the sense because he has actually understood the mental trauma of a child appearing for his exams unprepared. The child has come unprepared to sit for his exams. He has not studied. We don't know what the background is, why he hasn't studied, we don't know. But we know that he has come in unprepared. And here the poet is, describing what he is going through. So it is very important to also understand the child. It's very easy to blame. So and so child has not studied, he has not written anything in the examination, he has got a 0. But why? There must be reasons. Okay? So this poet is actually telling us what a child feels in his examination when he is not able to answer a single question. Let's recite the poem stanza-wise and I'll explain it to you. Thank you so much for your questions. I've read them all carefully through. But there isn't a single one of them that I know the answer to. I've written my name as instructed, put the year, the month and the day. But after I'd finished doing that, I had nothing further to say. So I thought I'd write you a letter, fairly informally, about what's going on in the classroom and what it's like to be me. So the first 3 stanzas actually tells us that the child is sitting in the examination hall He's got his question paper and he goes through the question paper. But he realizes that not a single question he has an answer to. That's because he has come unprepared. And so he has nothing to do. And he decides that he's going to write a letter to the examiner. And that letter is going to be an informal letter. Why the letter is going to be informal? Can any guesses? It is not mentioned in the book. But why do you think the letter is going to be informal? Well, the letter is going to be informal because the letter is going to have in it the emotions, the mental trauma, the innocence of a child's heart. Because this child is going to write down what he feels, what he sees around him also. He's going to write down everything. So all these things makes the letter informal. Mandy has written 10 pages. Now he's talking about what he's seeing around. Okay, Mandy is one of the students. Mandy has written 10 pages, but it's probably frightful guff. And Angela Smith is copying the answers of her guff. Mandy is a student who has written 10 pages, but mind you, what he has written is a frightful guff. Frightful guff means the teacher who's going to check his answers is going to get a fright of her life. Because he has written nonsense. Guff is nonsense. And Angela Smith is copying the answers. She has written the answers on her cuff. Miss Quinlan is marking our homework. The clock keeps ticking away. For anyone not in the classroom, it's just another day. In the classroom, what else the boy is seeing? He's writing down. He's writing about Miss Quinlan as a teacher who's marking their homeworks. And the clock is busy ticking away. As you know, time and tide waits for none. Clock doesn't wait for anyone. It keeps ticking away. And for anyone who's not in the classroom, means the people who are not there in the classroom, people who are outside, they're having their daily life. Mothers buying groceries, grandmothers drinking tea, unemployed men doing crosswords or watching Crowing Court on TV. The drizzle has finally stopped here. The sun's just started to shine. And in a black garden in Sefton Road, a housewife hangs shirts on the line. So the child is, actually recalling, or he's actually writing down the things, the daily activities of the people who don't come to school. Like mothers, they're busy buying groceries, grandmothers drinking tea. And the unemployed men, those who are jobless, what they do, they sit at home and they work on the crossword puzzles, or they watch some programs on the TV. And the weather outside, the drizzle has finally stopped. He finally goes on to explain the weather then. The drizzle has finally stopped. Drizzle is, when the light rain, when you don't feel it's not heavy, light rain. The drizzle has finally stopped. The sun's just started to shine. So after the drizzle, the sun has started to shine. And in a back garden in Sefton Road, a housewife hangs shirts on the line. So in one of the gardens, of a housing complex, one of the gardens, he can see that a housewife is drying clothes on the line. A class chatters by to play tennis. The cathedral clock has just pealed. Her motor chugs steadily back and forth, mowing the hockey field. A class chatters by means often when you're sitting for your exams, you might be seeing some other classes, those who are not having exams, passing by, chatting away to glory in the line, even if the teacher is telling no talking, but the children are busy talking. So that is what he's describing, that a class chatters by and they're going to play tennis, because he might have seen some equipments of tennis in the hands. And the cathedral clock, the cathedral is a holy place for Christians to worship. The clock, the big clock you have in churches, all of you might have seen it in the big ding dong, the sound. So the clock might have just pealed. A motor chugs steadily back and forth means talking about an engine that is making the sound, and the mowing of the hockey field. Miss Quinlan's just seen what I've written. Her face is an absolute mask. Before she collects in the papers, I have one little favor to ask. So Miss Quinlan is a teacher who's in the invigilator, who's in the examination hall. She's collected the papers and she has seen what the child has written, but she has no reaction to it. She is very, she's not even angry, not even sad. She's just putting up a normal reaction. Before she collects in the papers, I have one little favor to ask. So before he submits his paper, he has one little favor to ask the examiner. I thought your questions were lovely. There is only myself to blame. But couldn't you give me something for writing the date and my name? So here he's saying that finally admits that the questions are really lovely. Lovely. Why lovely? Because he feels the questions were quite to the point and easy, and it could have easily been answered by him had he studied. But he's again blaming himself because he's saying there's only myself to blame. So he's blaming himself for not having come prepared. So he's accepting his faults. It's good. Do you think self-blame is always good? Not always, but sometimes we must blame ourselves so that there is place for rectification. And then the last 2 lines of this poem, he's just making a request to the examiner for giving him some marks for writing the date and his name. So children, this is the poem. And what I would like to say is that your exams are knocking at the door. And I'm sure none of you would like to be in a situation like this. I'm sure none of you will. You have your study modules, you have your teachers guiding you, you have your parents. Your only work is to study. Please, children, do that sincerely. And trust me, you're going to get your reward. Because you reap what you sow. What you sow today, you will reap that. So please study hard and you will get your rewards later. Thank you and have a nice day.